I was wrong about this Nintendo Switch 2 game. I have said many times that I thought that Welcome Tour should have been a pack-in game and that I really wasn't interested in picking it up due to that. But as someone who reviews games on the Nintendo Switch 2, it just wasn't sitting right with me to have those opinions, but not actually provide any official word from myself on if people should check this game out if they were interested. So what I did was I picked up Welcome Tour for $10 on the Nintendo Switch 2 and I played it so you don't have to. And honestly, I kind of liked what I played of it. Now, before I get called a shill or a Nintendo bootlicker, I do have a lot of opinions on this game, so bear with me as we go through the cycle of talking about what Welcome Tour actually is. So the game starts you off in a line waiting to enter the Welcome Tour experience, and as you enter that gate, you walk onto the actual Nintendo Switch 2 console. The system itself is the locations that you will be exploring in this game, ranging from the Joy-Con to the screen to the inside of the controller even. And each of these locations have different activities to do. You can explore the layout of the part of the Nintendo Switch 2 that you're currently on, whether that be the Joy-Con or the screen or what have you, and you'll find the different buttons and things with kiosks that will give you information and learn more about what each part of the Switch 2 is, all while earning stamps. And this will actually have you collect the stamps to move on to the next area. So you need to have discovered each individual part on the part of the Nintendo Switch 2 that you're on to progress to the next location. Now, on each of these parts, there's also quizzes. And honestly, before I played this game and when I was just looking into this game, I thought this was kind of silly, but as I did a couple of these quizzes, I actually found that I kind of enjoyed them. You learn a lot about the actual tech and the hardware found within the Nintendo Switch 2, while also learning about some history of older Nintendo hardware, which I found to be just an overall really enjoyable and interesting experience. The deeper insight that you got for the Nintendo Switch 2 and its components, as well as some of the history that you learned, made for a fairly interesting time for those that are longtime Nintendo fans or those that are tech heads. If you like tech and you like learning about the ins and outs of particular hardware, this was a fairly enjoyable experience going through these quizzes and learning about the actual ins and outs of the Nintendo Switch 2. And this was something that I actually ended up enjoying more than I anticipated I would, but even despite my enjoyment of this still didn't sell me on the game. Quizzes and history, as well as an explanation of the different parts of the Switch 2 is cool and interesting, but it's really something that could have been done in a simple press release or a YouTube video breakdown. The thing that really made me feel like I misjudged this game was the minigames themselves. The minigames found in Welcome Tour are very charming and lead you to using the Nintendo Switch 2 in a variety of different ways to show off all of its functions. And each minigame has a handful of medals that you are awarded for completing them in a certain amount of time or achieving a certain score, giving you a reason to come back and play them again. And by unlocking more medals, you'll unlock more variations of that minigame that change how they play, giving you even more reason to return back to that particular minigame. And there were games that utilized the mouse mode, like controlling a spaceship and dodging incoming projectiles. There was a golfing game, or having to move your cursor quickly through an obstacle course without hitting the electric field surrounding you. There were minigames that utilized the touchscreen, having you put your fingers on the different colored dots without lifting them in a very Twister style minigame. And there was even a game that utilized the kickstand, having you try and set up the system stand based on the angle that you were shown on screen. And all of these minigames I found to be incredibly enjoyable and fun to play. Trying to get that high score for the best time kind of became an obsession for someone like myself who loves to 100% games, and the ways that the minigame showcased the different features of the Switch 2 was really interesting. Now, there were also some tech demos that were baked into this game that were just separate kiosks that you could visit, and they showed off things like the HDR function or the 4K features, the HD rumble in the Joy-Cons, or the frame rate even. And while I found these to be cool and interesting just regarding the tech, they were not near as fun experiences as the minigames themselves, and some of them do require some other pieces of tech not related to the Switch 2, like a 4K monitor or a Switch 2 camera. So there is a bit of a barrier to entry for those that want to experience this, that they have to spend extra money on, which I thought was just a little bit silly. I didn't really like the fact that you needed all of this extra tech that you may not have in order to fully experience this game. So ultimately, after playing Welcome Tour, I feel that it was worth the $10 that I spent on it. I enjoyed the Nintendo history that I learned through the quizzes and the kiosks. The tech demos were interesting ways to show off the new features of the system, and the minigames were clever and rather addicting, giving me plenty of reasons to play them over and over again. However, do I think everyone should go out and buy this game? No. No, please don't. If you're a tech head or you just enjoy Nintendo history, I could recommend this game to you. But if you're someone who doesn't really care all that much about the hardware and just wants to game, I don't think that the minigames alone are going to entertain you enough to warrant spending the money on this particular title. Saying this, I don't think this game should have been a pack-in game. I just don't think it would have been a very good experience as a pack-in game. What makes Welcome to Her interesting is the compilation of everything that it was in it. Whether it be the demos themselves, the actual mini games, the quizzes, all of that package is what makes it interesting. And if you're not interested in all portions of that, you're not going to enjoy your time with Welcome to Her. Unlike something that was like Astro's Playroom that had way more gameplay and broke down the different features of the DualSense controller by playing through the game, that was a fantastic experience, and I thought it made perfect sense as a pack-in game. Truthfully, if I had to say what game should have been a pack-in for the Nintendo Switch 2, I think Drag X Drive fits that bill better. That game has really solid and really fun gameplay, but it leaves a lot to be desired in the forms of no official matchmaking service, the inability to play against random people with your friends. There's a lot about Drag X Drive that just doesn't make sense as a game that's designed to be played entirely online. So paying $20 for it felt really bad. However, had that game been a pack-in game and included with my Nintendo Switch 2, I'd probably be less irritated with the state the game is currently in. But as far as Welcome to Her goes, it's an incredibly niche title that does provide a lot of value for those interested in it, but it's definitely skippable for those who are not interested in deep diving the Switch 2. So as a pack-in game, I just don't think it would have been all that interesting for people to actually experience. I don't think it would have been something that everybody would have tried had it been a pack-in game. I think a lot of people still would have just been like, this is silly, I'm not going to engage with this. Where something like Drag X Drive that has a gameplay loop and a solid gameplay loop at that, I think that would have definitely been a game that would have been more interesting as a pack-in title. So all in all, I think Welcome to Her was a lot of fun for what I got out of it. But again, I don't think this game is for everyone, and I don't think everyone should go spend $10 on it. I think you need to really evaluate if you are that interested in everything that this game has to offer. Do you want to deep dive the Switch 2? Do you want to see all those demos? Do you want to see all the functions of the system? If that's a yes, this game is worth $10. If it's a no, don't spend your money on this game. I think that's really what it comes down to as far as Welcome to Her is concerned. It's not a game that I have any intention of returning to. I enjoyed what I played of it, but for $10, I got what I wanted out of it, and I don't want to really go back and play any of the mini games or try and get 100% on all the mini games. I enjoyed getting 100% on the mini games that I did, but it's not a game that after I got done with it for review, I was like, man, I'm gonna go back and finish up the levels and stuff. No, I'm not keen on that. But that is going to be it for this video, guys. Let me know in the comments below what your thoughts on Welcome to Her are. Are you interested in it? Do you think you'll pick it up at a later date? Are you waiting for a sale potentially? Or is this just something that you'll never play on your Switch 2? Let me know all that. But like I said, that is going to be it for this video, guys. I hope you all enjoyed. Leave a like, comment, and subscribe. It helps me out, helps the video out, and helps the channel out immensely. There is the members option if you want to support the channel in any other way. Also, be sure to check out the Discord. People over there hanging out, playing Switch 2 all the time. But like I said, that's it. I'll catch you all in the next one. Peace.